Hi there, Dr. Ina here. Welcome to part 2 of this little 5-part series, The Toxic Truth About Water. And in part 1, I talked a lot about all of the different contaminants that we're finding in our water. It's a very, very serious issue, and I'm really trying to just educate you guys and teach you enough so that you know how to protect yourself, how to protect your family, your loved ones, because again, this is something that's very pervasive and a really, really big concern. So when I went through in part 1 all of the different contaminants, so we know that there's a lot to contend with. But what I want to show you specifically today is when we test chlorine. So chlorine, as many of you know, is necessary. The municipal water companies, the utility companies, they use chlorine to treat the water. Chlorine will kill bacteria and microorganisms that could end up in our water, right? So we know in third world countries where they don't treat the water, many people die from those specific illnesses as a result of getting, contacting those microorganisms. So the plus side is chlorine can kill that. The negative side is that chlorine combines with natural compounds to form what's called trihalomethanes or THMs. It also combines with natural compounds to form haloacetic acid. So these are very big words, but basically what it indicates, these are contaminants, they're carcinogens. They combine, they're kind of like the byproduct of chlorine, of bromine, of chloramine, and different areas, different cities will use different chlorine type compounds to treat the water. So anywhere in the US, you're dealing with the byproduct, whether it's the trihalomethanes or the haloacetic acids or various versions of these compounds, okay? And they are carcinogens. So I want to just show you what you can do to test your water for chlorine. And many of you may have filtration, maybe on your refrigerator, maybe you're using certain things. In tomorrow's, I shouldn't say tomorrow, in the next video series, in part 3 of this 5-part series, I'm going to go over what your options are. But for today, I really just want to focus on showing you the chlorine and chlorine byproducts. So what I have here is something called OTO, which is the chlorine indicator. It tests for chlorine and bromine and chlorine type compounds. So I have a sample here. This is filtered water. Many of you saw quite a few months ago, I showed a picture under our sink of the system that we use. And so we have filtered water here. And then this is unfiltered water that I brought into our home. So we live in a community where there's a pool and a cooking like grill area with a sink and, a place where you can cook for the community. And so I grabbed some water from the sink over there, knowing that that is not filtered, okay? So this is, like I said, it's a solution that will test for chlorine and chlorine compounds. So what we do is we just take 5 drops of this, and actually let's do it this way so I can show you in smaller quantities, because I'm going to show you something that's really mind-blowing. So check this out. Okay, so this is filtered. Okay, so this one's going to be filtered. And then I'm going to do unfiltered here and unfiltered here. Okay. And you'll know why I put a little less in there in a moment. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see this. So I'm going to test the filtered. I'm going to put the drops in to see if there's any chlorine compounds. If there are, by the way, the water will turn yellow. That's the indicator. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The filtered water should not show any yellow. Okay? Now, the unfiltered water should show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you can see that getting yellow pretty quickly. Okay? Now, I want you guys to understand what I'm going to show you here. Many people understand the carcinogenic effect of these compounds and all the other contaminants that we're seeing in our water, and they're concerned about their drinking and cooking water. But I want to show you something that is very, very important for you to understand. So I'm going to do what's called the swish test. I'm going to take this water, which I really don't want to do, but I want to show you. I'm going to do it to show you this point. I'm going to put this in my mouth, the whole amount. I'm going to swish it around and I'm going to spit it back in the glass. I know it's kind of gross, but I'm doing this to show a very important point here. Now, when we brush our teeth, we usually will swish the water and we spit it out. So kind of like I'm doing that here. So watch this. So again, this is the unfiltered water. Okay. Again, kind of gross. Hopefully you guys could see this. Now it should turn yellow because this is the unfiltered water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Guys, where's the yellow? The membranes in my mouth that quickly absorbed the chlorine and the chlorine compounds. When we brush our teeth with unfiltered water, that is being absorbed. When we shower, our skin is absorbing the contaminants. We're breathing in the chlorine vapors, the gas that's offset from the heat, the hot water. So it's not good enough to just filter our cooking and drinking water. Again, it's all the water. What are we washing our hands with? What are we brushing our teeth with? What are we showering with? What are we bathing with? So again, I want you guys to understand how quickly our membranes will absorb those chlorine compounds. Again, carcinogenic. And I just want to share a couple of very interesting, facts that you guys could go and look up, okay? So this is according to the Environmental Defense Fund. When chlorine is added to our water, it combines with natural compounds to form trihalomethanes, THMs. I mentioned that in the beginning. Cancer scientists believe THMs, or trihalomethanes, are responsible for the majority of human cancer in the US. Another thing that I want to share with you, Council on Environmental Quality. Cancer risk among people drinking chlorinated water is 93% higher than among those whose water does not contain chlorine. So of all the contaminants, we want to filter all of them, but I wanted to specifically share with you the detriment, the dangers, the carcinogenic effects of chlorine and chlorine compounds. Now, what I want to invite you to do, I'm happy to do a report on your water. We use a consumer advocate group where we can plug in your specific zip code and it will give you a printout of what things that you need to be concerned about in your water. So for example, here in our zip code, we have a very high amount of arsenic. We have extreme high amounts of these trihalomethanes, these haloacetic acids, radium, and so forth. I'd be happy to do that for you. All you would need to do is click on the link below. There will be a form you can fill out your name, your email address, your zip code, and then I'll be in touch to share that information with you. I can also explain, just so you understand, because until we know, we don't know, right? And so I want you guys to at least have the knowledge so that you know what to do to move forward to protect yourselves. All right, so I'll be back for the third series, or the third video in this series, to really go over with you what are your options? What is out there that you can do to filter your water in your home. So until then, have a great day, and I'll see you soon.